In today's video, we're talking about gold XAUUSD as it climbs toward a target that we've discussed in recent videos. I'll have all the details in today's video, including key levels, how I'm looking to trade this market, and also the latest on the DXY. Now, if you guys do want my help with your trading, including real-time market updates, seeing my trades live, daily setups, and also VIP-only videos, as well as access to the course, be sure to check out the link in the description of this video for 85% off lifetime access to VIP. If you're on the website, click on that Join VIP link. All right, guys, XAUUSD daily time frame. So obviously we're seeing the market rally here so far this week following that Friday candle, which obviously was due to those NFP numbers that came out very bearish for the US dollar. And so this candle right here appears to have, potentially closed above the trend line that we talked about back here. Now, I do want to address this in this video too, because a lot of times, guys, when a market ranges like this, trend lines like this here become less influential. And so I think that for purposes of this video, guys, it makes a lot of sense to take this trend line and just get rid of it. And the reason for that is because you can start to look at this and say, well, the market's above here on the daily, which means that we're now bullish. However, at the same time, guys, we are range bound. We've been range bound now since April, okay? So I think it's dangerous to start looking at a trend line like this and just assuming that we're bullish and we're going to break out because, again, the market has been range bound for months. And, ultimately, guys, when you think about a trend line, right, it's in the name of the line. It's best used in a trading market, right? Yes, you can trade from trend lines. However, you need that conviction in the market one way or the other. And this right here, a range for months, is literally the definition of a lack of conviction. The market is just going sideways here. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get rid of that trend line and just focus here on the ranges that we have for gold, which you can see the back here, 3404. This was a level that we talked about in recent videos, because this was a single print based on this move lower. In other words, the market traded very thinly through here on the way down, making this an imbalance. And as I discuss in videos all the time, imbalances like this tend to serve as magnets, so to speak, for a market, okay, or targets. And so when we saw gold come down here, test this level, which, by the way, this down here was an unfinished auction from this low, right there around 32.85. We've also talked about this in recent videos. Unfinished auctions, yes, it is a real term. Google it, you'll see what I mean. Unfinished auctions like this, guys, tend to get swept. Okay, they tend to get taken out, and you can see that was certainly the case back here. So we had that here. We had the Friday rally, and now it looks like gold is closing in on 3404. So this, guys, is probably going to get tested here over the coming days, given the fact that gold is just below that mark now. However, don't make the mistake, though, of thinking that gold has to reverse right here from this level, okay? Yes, this is a potential target. Yes, it is going to be a resistance area. However, it is not an exact science. And if you look at the 4-hour time frame, really, we could make the case that these lows back here, okay, really, this is going to be the resistance area, in my opinion, to watch. Okay, so if we turn this over here to just a normal resistance level here, you can see off of those lows on the 4-hour, this area could get tested as well. So this pocket through here, this was the consolidation, this was the expansion, and then we have that single print that never got tested through here. Okay, so I'm bringing all this up, guys, because again, I don't want you guys thinking that this is going to be the exact resistance area for gold to where it's going to come up here and test this level and sell off exactly from here. It could, however, again, you've got this area up there toward 3420 and then above that 3430 as resistance. All right, so in terms of how to trade this, guys, I really think that, I say this all the time, but a market is range bound until proven otherwise. Okay, so until we get the market trading up here and really above that all-time high, then this is going to be a range, okay? So I think it makes a lot of sense to trade it as such, okay? So sitting here thinking, again, that the market's going to come up here and just break out automatically, I think that that's ill-advised. Because while it could happen, right, we don't trade based on what could happen. We want high probability setup. And so for now, the probability of the market breaking out from here on a retest up here is pretty slim. We at least probably see a pullback here from gold, especially when you consider, guys, that we still have that open single print down there around 3305. Okay, this was formed on that Friday rally. We have yet to see gold return to it. It doesn't mean that the market has to do it. However, you consider a single print up here, resistance, and single print down here. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this, guys, that you've got this area up here serving as a potential target, also resistance. Then you have this area down there from that Friday rally that could also serve as a target for gold as long as we see the market remain range bound. Now, obviously, if we were to get a close up here and especially above 3,500, then this area down here is off the table as a potential target. Okay, but for now, guys, I'm going to go with what's on the chart, what's in front of me, and not what I think might happen in the future, or what I want to happen, and just go with what's on the chart. And what's on the chart right now, again, is a range-bound market. All right, so let's flip over now and take a look at the DXY, which, the light event calendar this week is really having its toll on the US dollar index, because since that Friday move, we really haven't gotten much of anything here from the DXY. The event calendar has been light this week, as I mentioned in yesterday's video. So far, really just no movement here from the DXY. Now, a couple things to consider. Okay, so first of all, we have the DXY closing back below 99.35. We've discussed this recently. Those June highs, this right here is a failed breakout. However, like I said in yesterday's video, really for me, guys, if I'm going to sell the US dollar, I'm looking up here. I can't justify selling down here because, again, we have that support level around 98.50. Now, one other thing to consider is that we do have a single print from this candle right back here, okay, just below 98.50, which has not been filled yet, around 98.46. So what we could see from gold, and again, this is very speculative, okay, but what we could see is maybe a dip below 98.5, take out these lows, tag this area down here, and then potentially from there we get a bounce. Now, if we get a bounce back toward this area, okay, that's when you have to look at gold, because the two tend to be inversely correlated. So in other words, if we were to see the DXY down here at 98.46, filling in that imbalance and then recovering back above 98.50, that could be the cue for a bit of US dollar relief. And then potentially, if gold has already taken out this 3404 area, that could also be the cue for a potential sell-off from gold, okay? Obviously, no guarantees of that, also very speculative, but it is one scenario that I'm eyeing here when I look at the XAUUSD chart and also the DXY together. Okay, but for now, in terms of the DXY, I really don't see a whole lot to do here. Again, the market is still above support, so I can't justify trying to short the US dollar here, simply because it is holding on to that support level. Any US dollar shorts here, guys, you're shorting right into support, okay? So, obviously, the name of the game is to try to short high, long low. So right now, the market is right there above support. Now, at the same time, I can't justify longing this just because, like I said, this right here, last week's candle, guys, this is a failed breakout above 99.35, okay? So same principles applies here for gold. We talk about this a lot. It seems overly simple, but it's amazing how many traders forget this, that you want to try to short high and long low, right? So when the market is in the middle of this range right here, really this is a time, in my opinion, to do nothing. If you're going to trade a range like this, you want to be looking at the extremes, okay? The lows down here and highs up here like this, okay? So this is your range right here. You're looking to, long down here, and you're looking to short up here. So while the market's in this area, if you're buying and selling like crazy, trying to figure out where this market's going, you're just getting chopped up and it's unnecessary. Look to short up here in this area with the right signals, and look to long down here with the right signals as well. Okay, again, overly simplified, but it's amazing how many people forget this and they try to trade all of this chop through here through the mid-range of this range. And you can see just how choppy it has been over the past few months. Okay, so that's it, guys. I really think that gold right now is range bound until proven otherwise. I think that's the big takeaway here. However, at the same time, you've got this single print up here at 3404 that could still serve as a magnet. You've also got that resistance area just above that mark. And then you also have this sell side single print down there around 3305 that could also become a factor. And keep an eye on these DXY levels as well. Even though we haven't seen much movement here so far this week, these are also going to all be critical here in terms of trading gold over the next few weeks. All right, guys, that's it. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. Also, join us in VIP. Check out that link in the description of this video for 85% off lifetime access. And as always, guys, trade well out there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.